some thinking on your feet. The other thing that really comes into play is the scaling. It's up to 400% stats, which, again, within limits, but that does come into play because we've seen practice seeds where pirates didn't have any nasty skills other than stun touch, but their HP was a little bit high, runners' levels were a little bit low, and just the way that worked out made them quite difficult.
An interesting thing about the script shuffling is that some enemies do sort of share scripts in certain ways. So just because you see something early in the game doesn't mean, oh, well, there's only one of those, so I won't see it again. It can happen, and you can come back again later. So you got to be on the lookout. You can actually use that information to your benefit later on if you knew what to look for.
Well, they were flashing that by so fast. I know I saw Quad X, but I didn't realize it was level 8. Now they give me a better look at it, and that won't be of use early on.
Yeah, probably not going to be much use later on either at level 8.
Really, really expensive silver bracelets, actually. You're certainly not affording one right now.
No,
but knowing that 2 of them are right back here at the start could pay off.
Yeah, if this is your first time checking out this stage, I should point out that this is not a race to defeat chaos like a normal Final Fantasy Randomizer race. This is a race to equip a black belt with 1 of each bracelet. And when I say equip, I don't mean actually equip, I mean assign to him. You go into the armor screen and you can dot done once he has all 4 of those. The trick, of course, is that the opal bracelet, there's only 1 of them in the game, and we don't know where it is, so it's really a race for that.
I found it very interesting when we're looking at the party setups. We had 3 of our runners go with the 2 thief strategy. Now, I don't blame anybody who brings a thief under this rule set and take the improved chance of running. I'm just really surprised that you would take 2 instead of either a mage hoping for AoE or a fighter to be more reliable swinging a sword. But we found the Zeus Gauntlet apparently in the first chest of Temple of Fiends, so that's why you check that.
And a silver bracelet too, so all of a sudden you don't need that $11,000 anymore.
Yeah, that's a very powerful Temple of Fiends in this seed. Couldn't get a look at what was in Matoya's there, but Tristle's about to give us a look, so maybe we'll find out here.
Katana, some cash, and I missed the first chest, pardon me.
Well, the katana will be good for money, as apparently creeps have stone touch. Oh, by the way. The katana you can sell for money, but you're not using it otherwise because there's no class change under this rule set.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of items people find that are basically just vendor trash. All the rest of the opal gear and everything like that that can only be equipped by the promoted classes is really just money in the pocket.
And if you're trying to save time by not getting fights, that extra money becomes so important. You need it for spells, you need it for save items, etc.
And it's quite... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just wondering if Provoca had an AoE and I couldn't see the shop. I'm getting a little lag on my end.
It's a bit choppy. Provoca also the home of the game's first unavoidable challenge. Someone's got to try and take on those pirates. Now, they've been brutal in the past, they've been easy too, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but Artea, having the benefit of that Zeus Gauntlet, is in much better shape than the other runners we've seen so far. Life 2 is at level 2, so a very powerful spell. And apparently we have level 3 Fire 2, so their levels will be too low for that right now, but that's still a really good spell to pick up.
Yeah, and level 3's on the horizon. Even if you, say, forgot the Zeus Gauntlets or didn't see it, you can grind up to get a charge of that, no problemo.
And it might help you get through a marsh cave, so it could save your day.
Yes, the previous Seeds Marsh Cave required visiting the vanilla wizard-locked, chest, which is just a nasty encounter. And it's pretty unlikely that that will happen again, so you probably won't be stuck in that brutal of a situation.
And Artea is going to clearly make the shortest work of these pirates of our featured runners because he brought in the Zeus Gauntlet. Which, if you're not familiar, is a free light too.
Yeah, and it happens to be the element that wizards do not resist, so it's particularly useful if we do have to go down to that chest.
And at this point, our only chance to avoid a required marsh cave is if it's lazy dwarfs. If they've got the TNT in their cave already in those 2 available chests, then you don't have to go to marsh. But pretty likely right now.
Tristal edges out a very narrow fight against his pirates. He didn't have any of those spells or the Zeus Gauntlet, so it was a knockdown, drag him out fight. He emerged with 1 person alive to take the ship.
You know what? He's probably not upset that that was the person either.
No, all that experience for the Red Mage will help him unlock spells even faster. Absolutely.
And looks like Will is paying the price for, in fact, he reset over not having a good pirate fight. So, routing choices and how they matter. Artea has proven to be clearly one of the best at this, and just that subtlety, getting the Zeus Gauntlet, made all the difference.
Yep, the early bridge tempting because you can just head straight for the next city and get the ship right off the bat, but in this case, heading out to the Temple of Fiends proved to be super valuable. Zeus Gauntlet trivializes a lot of these first fights.
Yeah, and it's not that the other runners would ignore Temple of Fiends, it's just what a lot like to do is get the boat first, then sail back to Temple of Fiends. Personally, I'm more on the Artea side of things there, of go ahead and check Temple of Fiends, because, hey, if it's got Zeus Gauntlet or TNT, then I've already got it before I go see the pirates.
Yeah, I think the conventional wisdom is often if you have a powerful spell in Corneria that will make it really easy to defeat Garland and warp back, then it's a very great play. But when you don't, you have to walk all the way there and all the way back. Some people figure if I can just sail, what difference does it make, right? Well, in this stage it did make a difference, so Artea was the benefit of it.
Purity making an interesting point that it could have the opal bracelet and you could be done really early, but you have to find 4 bracelets, so the odds of 3 of them being for sale in Corneria, plus having enough money to buy all 3 of them, kind of low.
But it would be pretty spectacular at the same time.
It would. Everybody would be working their way up to this, rearing themselves up to go for this pirate fight, and then there's done. And then they would wait to see, okay, he's gonna undo that, right? Right? He's gonna undo it, right? Nope, he was really done. So Tristal got the Zeus Gauntlet now.
And we got some Fire 3 in Elfland at a very low level. And on the white magic side, we got level 1 wall, but he's passing on that.
Wall could have its value. Now you're trying to avoid boss fights, but some may be unavoidable. I saw Cure 3 in there.
At level 2, yep. And
Saber
level 1
at
Saber.
1.
Level 4 Fast. Decent stuff there. But more ninja stuff than thief stuff. And unfortunately, you're not going to see a ninja, so... That red mage, he decides he doesn't need it. He's just going to go stock up on various sundry items at the item shop.
Bottle for sale, and you hope you don't need it, but you better not forget where it is. Hey, someone in chat is wondering what the chances are that Topher is required. You want to go into that?
So we ran the numbers on this morning, just to, because, you know, there are a whole bunch of different places that bracelet can end up being, and TOFR is about a 3% chance, approximately. So 3 seeds in 100, you're going to have to go in there. There's about a 50% chance, a shade over that it's in one of the 4 Fiend dungeons, and what's left, about 45, that it's somewhere else, which is probably going to be easier than if it's in one of the Fiend dungeons. And then about a 5% chance, of course, of it being in the Marsh Cave, which is the last, deadly place. So it's a coin toss whether or not it's buried in a Fiend dungeon or somewhere more easily accessible, like the Sardia Isles or something like that.
A really cheap Fire 3. I didn't realize it was that cheap. That's going to be extremely valuable for the Marsh Cave. Though I don't think we saw any of the runners go to Dwarf yet.
No,
Unless
Will
I missed-
Bloodworth has made the decision to take care of Garland. He's got Zeus gauntlets, so shouldn't be too much trouble. And then he can warp back to Cornelia from there. I say this, Garland's proving to be a little tougher.
Well, mentioned it at the top. 400% stats. These things are not to be taken for granted.
He's got a ton of HP, but he's pretty soft on his attack, so I don't think he's in any danger.
Which bears mentioning for anybody who may be new to the randomizer. When I say 400% scaling, that doesn't mean everything is 400%. That means that's the maximum of the range that a stat could get to, particularly HP, could be 400% of normal.
Yeah, that was causing some confusion earlier. But strength, for example, is not up to 400%. It's a quarter of whatever you set it to. So in this case, 400%, it could be up to 100% higher, I believe. In any event,
think of the hardest hitting Kraken 2 you've ever seen and realize it should have been 4 times higher than that.
yeah, it could one-shot you before, it can one-shot you now, so, you know, not that much different at the end of the day.
And arachnids have blizzards, so we've got another fun marsh cave ahead of us.
And we've got Artea bottom right now, who has made it to the marsh cave.
Alright, so there was a dwarf play for Tristal, but he reset, so nothing. And Czar has apparently had to drop out because somehow he got the wrong seed.
That's tragic.
You miss out on Blizzard Arachnids, Czar. Don't you feel so bad?
And Will finds a house in the dwarf cave, and he's decided to keep it.
That is very interesting. It gives you the chance to restore your magic.
Maybe he figures he's going to head to Marsh right now, and if he finds something he likes in the top section, he'll escape and restore his magic before heading down to the bottom section.
Yeah, we saw houses for sale already, but they were on the expensive side for your early game money.
So far,
I mean, Czar, if you hadn't come in here, then you could have just rolled the right seed and started at a deficit.
and hopefully there's some commentator's curse here, this has been a significantly softer seed than the one we rolled at the crack of dawn this morning for the Midnight Madness. For example, these scums that are hitting Artea would have definitely wiped him by now.
Yeah, some poison touch. The arachnids with Blizzard definitely the worst we've seen so far. And this is 2 reasons why they bring the thieves. And there's our TNT on the north side of the marsh cave. And now you just gotta avoid that blizzard. He's sitting there. He's teasing you. Don't tell me he survived a fire 3. He survived a fire 3.
Yeah, it's not super easy. When I said less trolly than this morning, I meant only slightly.
So there's 2 reasons to bring the thieves that are worth mentioning. And the first one is to lower your ambush rate. And of all places you want to lower your ambush rate, it is the Marsh Cave. Or Ambush Cave, as many like to refer to it. The other thing is a higher running chance, and it certainly pays when you're trying to get through the scavenger hunt, if you will, as fast as possible, to have that thief that helps you get away from things. Artea is taking the percentage gamble and getting away from this marsh cave.
Yeah, I can't blame him after what he went through this in the first round. Like, there was just no need to stay there any longer than you need to.
Unless, of course, that opal bracelet is sitting down there.
It'll be curious to see.
Or any of that good stuff.
There's a lot of good things that could be down there for sure, and we'll see if anyone decides to go for a look. if anybody is suffering from PTSD from the race last night, then I'm guessing they'll make the same decision Artea did and just get out.
Well, and I think we're seeing some of that just with the fact that we only now have our second of the 4 featured runners in the Marsh Cave. I think people have stayed away from it to get a couple extra levels before they went in. Of course, there was also the routing decisions where Artea went and got that Zeus Gauntlet first.
Yeah, he's been getting some pretty good use out of that. Here he goes again to Comparison. They're a particularly friendly item to find out on the enemy to find out on the open seas because they actually give a surprising amount of gold and they're generally not too hard. But with Script Shuffle, you never know.
A lot can change. Oh, Warp was at level 6. I didn't notice that earlier. And hopefully what Zalnap did was check whether or not it was learnable. Because when you have the Spell Shop Shuffle on, you can't readily tell that. But even if you can't afford it yet, you won't get that message till last. So you can find out whether or not somebody can learn a spell, even if you don't have the money for it yet.
And on Zalnop's screen in the bottom left corner, we see him stocking up on tons of heals and pures and tents. And Final Fantasy Randomizer is a bit new to you. You're saying, does he need, 50 tents? And the answer is that on the overworld, you can use the ability of a tent to save your game and then reset it to allow yourself to skip random encounters. Because by resetting your game, you can reset the random encounter table to where it was at the beginning of the first time you started playing. And if there's, say, a run of 13 squares before your first encounter, you can keep doing that. 12 squares, save, reset, and so on to avoid all overworld random encounters.
You also like to do it before every dungeon you go into so that you minimize, how long it takes to restart it. So Tristol able to get out of there with the TNT. Will Bloodworth is on his way down here now. Using some custom sprites, obviously. We see that for both he and Artea.
Yeah,
We've been having some fun with that lately.
Indeed, yeah. The doors were open to custom sprites for the characters. And it's allowed people to get pretty creative. Some take it really seriously and try to draw up fancy new ones or take inspiration from later games. And other people go a different direction, like Will.
Really expensive silver swords in this seed. There's our gold bracelets for sale in Melmond. You only need the one. And there is one available in a treasure chest, but it's a whole lot more reliable to buy one.
Yeah, and there should be a copper bracelet for sale somewhere too eventually, and then the only mystery after that will be the whereabouts of the opal bracelet.
Well, we saw copper and silver available at Corneria.
And the mystery is solved.
Only all mysteries were that easy. Looks like Artea has made his way over to Crescent Lake now. No floater yet, but he'll hope to pick up the canoe and see if he can make progress. Will's able to get his TNT, while Zalnop still has to get down to the Marsh Cave.
Yeah, at this point, you got a lot of choices ahead of you where you want to go. The ordeals and the ice cave have not been incentivized in this seed, or in this stage rather. So those two chests could also contain the opal bracelet. They're not going to have one of the set of incentivized plot items. So really, you can go anywhere. The straight stats say the most likely place would be the Sky Castle, which you can't yet get to, the Sea Shrine, which you can't yet get to, and then the volcano. So you could go there.
Yeah, what's funny is I think having the incentive turned off was exactly right for this set of flags, because it would have made the incentive dungeons actually a lower percentage play for not having that opal bracelet.
Yeah,
it would have biased in a way.
Yeah, they would have disincentivized going to the incentivized dungeons, indeed.
I mean, still floater will matter, but when you're just looking for one item.
Level 1 Lit 2, not quite as good as level 1 Fire 3.
that's an interesting purchase, but at the same time, if you're about to go into the volcano, Fire 3 is not the most useful spell in the world.
And we'll see if it is the volcano that he chooses to go to. It does have a nice number of chests and generally easier enemies than the ice cave, but again, that's subject to randomization, so it's impossible to say at this point.
Arte's got a 4-pack of Peds. Was that off of a reset? That is something you'll often see a runner check in the Crescent Lake area, because if you're able to get a Pede encounter on your first encounter, it's usually a great source of experience if they don't get something nasty.
Yeah, much like I was describing how after resetting the game, the number of steps before your first encounter is the same, and so too is what encounter that's going to be depending on where you are. So if it's Peds near Crescent Lake as the first encounter, you can keep resetting your game to fight them over and over again.
It's also really nice to be able to do that next to an inn. So they're not the first encounter. Yeah, Will has apparently had some trouble getting out of Marsh Cave with these arachnids. We saw the other runners get one, but not cast Blizzard. I don't know if Will was able to get Fire 3, though. Actually, I don't even remember what his classes are. I know he's got Double Thief and a Black Belt. I don't know what the other one he did was.
Yeah, at this point, the sprites they've got to the point where we can't tell what classes they are. It's a bit inconvenient.
Although if I go intuitive from the fact that he called it AoE, red, it's a red mage. So he was able to learn Fire 3. Never mind, it's level 1 black magic. He'd have been able to learn it regardless. What am I even saying? See, I'm confused. I blame the cold.
Well, you might not have. You didn't know at first that it was a red mage, right? If it was a white mage, it wouldn't have mattered what level it was. Maybe you were going down that path.
True, but I was looking at the fact he named it AoE.
Well, that would be a pretty poor name for a white mage, wouldn't it?
Generally. I mean, if he knew Fade was going to be level 1, though.
You might have also got it from the... I was going to say you might have also got it from the yin yang, but I didn't.
I guess. We were having a tactical discussion with the Magic Shop Shuffle of when would it be appropriate to reroll, and I'm apparently a little more willing to do it than other people are if I see spells that lead me to think a certain thing. I mean, if I saw Fade level 1 or level 2, I'm bringing party members that are able to take advantage of that. If Red Mage can use it, okay, I'll bring a Red Mage, but if it's White Mage only, then I'm going back and getting 2 White Mages.
Yeah, if you walk into Corneria and the very first thing you see is Fade that only a White Mage can get, and you have like a Red Mage or 2 in your party, and you recall what happened only one day ago in that previous seed, it would be pretty tempting to re-roll and get a couple guys that can cast that.
Alright, looks like Will is taking another shot at getting this TNT out of this marsh cave. He does have Fire 3. Okay, I guess he just wasn't able to get the cast off against the Arachnid, who we also knew from one of the other runners didn't die to a Fire 3.
Yeah, they're pretty trolly arachnids, but, you know, the whole cave is just aftershocks of what he dealt with yesterday. He'll probably laugh this one off by comparison. Although he's getting pretty unlucky with what he keeps running into with the ambushes and stuff, especially with his party composition. That's a shame.
First major route divergence. Zalnop has gone to the south side of the marsh cave. So whatever you do, give yourself a chance to win. You know what? As far as we've seen out of these featured runners, nobody else was coming down here, so Zalnop's strategy has a chance to pay off. He gets an ice sword, which is a definite improvement for that red mage.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with risky strats when you can just try again the next race, you know? This is a situation where, sure, it's probably not going to work, and it's going to cost you first if it doesn't work. Well, maybe, maybe not. But if it does work, you can win a race and you can take home 0 chaos points for the whole stage. So why not take a shot early on in the stage?
A floater for Artea available in the very first volcano treasure chest. So that's an advantage.
Yep. We were talking about Volcano was... Yeah, sure. Volcano was the statistically most likely play. The conservative, safe play. So it should pay off, and it does.
And he gets a slab for good measure, because why not? Throw adamant on top of that. What is this room?
Just a storage room for valueless items.
And Tristal is showing us exactly why he's the tournament champion. How far behind Artea was he? 2-3 minutes? He just got floater, and he's almost out of here before Artea is, because he wants to save having that floater.
Yeah. Well, we've got Wizards with Squint, but we've got Zalnop with Zeus Gauntlets, and he's going to check the Forbidden Chest. We'll see what's down there.
Very tiny bit of gold.
Troll cash.
So this volcano, very rewarding, and that slab could certainly be required. The adamant going to be of absolutely no value. Looks like Artea is going to go get the airship now, and assume Tristal's doing the same. And the question is, do you go back, or are you exploring something else? And if so, I don't know what that would be right now.
Well, if you're talking floater, then you're talking all the free stuff. The Titan's Trove, the Sardia Isles. Any one of those could have the opal and you could be done, right? So I see the play.
The other really interesting place to go is Gaia, where you're going to have access to 4 more magic shops, 2 of each type.
Yeah, that's one of those things that the Magic Shop Shuffle really does. It really boosts Gaia. In the normal FFR, you go there, it's all the high-level magic, it's out of the way. You do have to go there to get the Oxyale, but besides that, you barely even blow through the place. Now, all of a sudden, all of those shops could have level 1 and 2 spells you really want.
I mean, nuke on any of the first 4 levels would be pretty important.
You could have level 1 Fade. Have we seen it yet?
Haven't seen Fade, haven't seen Nuke, haven't seen Ice 3. Haven't seen Bane.
Titan just sitting on like $70,000 in cash and a knife. And he'll keep it. Tristal decides not to reset out. He's going to take the money and run.
That'll buy you a lot of spells, so, you know, again, if your goal is to avoid a lot of fights as you're trying to log a better time through the whole seed, then that money becomes so important. Will, meanwhile, is working through the south side of the marsh cave. I didn't see Zalnop pick anything up, and I don't know what you could have picked up at this point because everything's in Volcano. Everything but the crown.
Yeah, it was loaded. All in that trove room. Although Tristal tried to take the money and run, but then he got ambushed and beaten down, so I think he had to actually wipe out of there.
Black Shirt is up with the dragons. That is a nice pickup. It's a free ice too. Apparently Fuchsia decided to dive Earth. That's an interesting play. And again, give yourself a chance for something to work. Level 1 exit.
That's what you came here for.
Learnable.
No, that's a shame.
And somebody brought a white mage, so could pay off. Zalnop has the white mage, so that's your chance for that to pay off. So anyways, what I was saying is Fuchsia is playing a different strategy, one that does give you a chance to find something nobody else does if you're the only one who goes to the Marsh Cave, or Earth Cave in this case.
Yeah, whenever you're getting into randomizers, there's always like this sort of fallacy where if something ends up randomly being distributed to the Earth Cave once, well, it can't possibly happen again, even though yesterday's seed has nothing to do with this one. So it's just as likely today that it'll be there again as it was yesterday. So why not?
Yeah, there's so many strategies that can win that ultimately, I think what you just have to be sure of is whatever you're going to do, you've put yourself in a position. Lightning 3 was at level 2 in Gaia. Exit at level 1, like we said, but of our featured runners, only Zoundup's going to be able to take advantage of that. Nuke is level 5. Ice. Oh, that's Ice at level 3. Oh, Ice 3 was there at level 4.
Gaia had lots of spells, but unfortunately, a lot of people just brought a lot of thieves and not a lot of casters, so they're going on the running away strategy, which, I mean, that can work when it's a treasure hunt, but if it turns out that the bracelet's in a trolly place, all of a sudden having more muscle would have really helped.
Alright, so Tristal has gone back into Volcano. Now, when he was here before, he opened exactly one treasure chest, but it happened to be the treasure chest. It was the one with Floater. Is Artea on a Tyro grind, or is he going for ordeals? Or both. Either way, look away, Edge.
Yeah, some people are simple folk, you know, they see a Tyro and they barbecue it.
So Tristal is now working through the party room, which is going to have all kinds of stuff for him.
Yeah, that's the room that keeps on giving. Slab and adamant. Unfortunately, the adamant is not going to be of any use to anybody in this seed, but it will waste time while you wait for the jingle to play.
And that doesn't actually mean that you won't turn it in, because it may be that it's messing up your heal potion alignment, so you want to get rid of it.
Yeah, I could see that happening if someone finds the crown and does the crown quest, because you're going to pop by the dwarves one more time to loot that huge treasure room, so maybe you would do that if you want to bump the heals over into the left column.
With that black shirt in hand, Tristal has decided to try out the fires, and he found them very killable. Got level 7. Now that one was not the guarded chest by fires. Obviously there was a fire in front of it, but it was avoidable. There is one in here that is not avoidable.
So can we talk a bit about the avoidable versus unavoidable chests for, guarded or unguarded chests? You were talking about that. Someone new to the game might want a bit of an explanation on that.
We can talk about anything we want to. We're the commentators. As long as Ed doesn't cut us off. So one of the things you have to think about when you're dealing with the scavenger hunt situation is a chest that you're able to get to freely, then you don't necessarily need any levels. You just need to be able to run away from a fight. However, there are a percentage of the treasure chests that you have an unavoidable fight in front of that treasure chest to be able to get to it. Tristal has just showed us one of them right now, and he got 2222 gold from that treasure chest. But the only way to get that treasure was to fight those fires, and they are unrunnable. So that is the risk of a low-level party, is that something ends up being in one of those chests, and that works out to be something like 1 in 5 of the chests where you're going to have that unrunnable encounter that you must get through first. Now, if you're wondering how the number is that significant when you're thinking, wait a minute, I don't remember. Well, what actually ends up happening is, at the end of the Mirage Tower, there's the unrunnable Blue Dragon fight. So when you think about him and throw him into the equation, every chest up in the Sky Castle is protected by that Blue Dragon, plus all of Temple of Fiends Revisited, because you cannot get to Topher without getting through that fight.
I think most of these people aren't even concerning themselves with TOFR at this point. I haven't seen anyone bother to take on a fiend yet or anything like that. They've just got their fingers crossed that they're going to find it before then. And 97% of the time, they're going to be right.
Tail and Castle Ordeal, not random enough.
Another troll item that we won't see any use of.
And you're not allowed to class change in this, just to reiterate that point. Their bracelets have to be on the black belt, so no class change. Ribbon, though, is not a troll item at all.
Crystal pops by Melman to pick up a gold bracelet for a cool, like 40 grand or so.
Iron staff, and it looks like Artea wants to walk that ribbon out, so he's going to test his fortunes against the zombie dragon, and with Fire 3 he'll be able to get past it as Will enters the Earth Cave, where we already know the first couple levels don't have anything. If they did, we'd already have a dot done. But I do respect the play, because this is not something you're expecting most people to do, so if you go all the way to Vampire even, I strongly respect the play as one that gives you a chance.
And Tristle's going on a bit of a journey through the woods to get down to Lefane and learn Lefanish. He's taking the slab to Dr. Doom.
We know he got the slab. Did you see him translate it?
I believe he did right after he bought the gold bracelet, yes.
Okay.
But what I believe doesn't matter. Did he or did he not? And we're about to find out.
Well, Purity says he did, so... Oh, so there's the magic shop. Not one you want to forget, because you're never coming back to it.
And it's kind of a wash. Nothing too exciting. He doesn't even really give him a second look.
So we got almost synchronous ruses there. One was for sale, and the other was attached to the defense sword, which Will picked up in Earth. A little better routing that Artea is able to do because of that floater. He's going to pick up the rod first, so he'll be able to completely clear the Earth Cave instead of just having to stop or reset.
The Earth Cave itself has about a 9% chance of having the opal bracelet, so... Well, we know it's not in the first couple floors, so that knocks it down significantly.
Here's the unfortunate thing with the gamble of Earth Cave that you don't see with Artea. If you go all the way to fight the vampire, then you're going to fight the vampire and you're going to have to walk it out, lest you lose that fight. So it'd be even worse to reset and lose the time, so you end up having to walk out of the Earth Cave if you go that far.
Suppose it's the chest behind the vampire that has the opal bracelet.
I mean, if you're there, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound.
And Tristle has entered the Mirage Tower. I don't think he has the cube, so he won't be going to the Sky Castle.
Pretty sure on that, but he can just check the first 2 floors and get to a lot of treasure chests quickly, so... As far as... What really matters is not chest density, it is the amount of chests that you can check within a time window. So instead of space density, it's time density, if I'm not being too off the wall in my language. And this Mirage Tower first 2 floors is really high on that.
Yeah, the greater than, less than chests are a real piece of cake, too. You just, like, dash around and grab them. No trap tiles, I think.
And another great point in chat is the experience here is going to be higher. So Tristles can walk out some easy levels from here. Assuming you survive, of course.
Yeah, and unlike last night, all those offensive caster items can really take the edge off some of these fights.
Oh, chat is just on the ball tonight. I love the point that Purity is making. Whereas Tristle is getting the experience from here. Artea taking fights in Ordeal and Earth Cave. That's his way of getting some levels. Chat's just on it tonight. We could just put chat up on stream and not talk.
Just get a little text-to-speech bot, and there we go.
What was the Earth guarding? Not much, but that's another one of those rooms I was talking about. You have that unrunnable counter guarding 3 treasure chests there.
Yeah, then you gotta hit him again on the way out, too.
Not necessarily.
And we got Cerberuses with Fire 3 that just ended Tristle's. That's okay, though, because he did the first floor and saved, so he didn't lose much time at all.
And he quickly resets. I assume that's a soft reset as he's trying to change his encounters.
Yeah, this one doesn't look too great either. These are some oftentimes ugly enemies, but sometimes the script shuffle works in your favor, actually. Because if the vanilla script is one you didn't want to see, then it can be nice if it's something else.
Yeah, it's funny when a place like either the Marsh Cave or the Ice Cave actually gets better than vanilla. It's about the only place you could go and see Nuke and be like, well, it's still better than vanilla.
He just escaped 4 Cerberuses with his speedy running thieves, so he can count himself lucky. He's really trying to get to those greater than lesson chests. Here they are again. Ooh, it's not looking good this time.
And that goes really to the whole argument of how much time do you spend leveling your party? Because if you're 5 levels higher, do you survive that? Do you get to run away faster with your thieves?
Yeah, and to your point about space density and time density, the next thing is how hard are the fights, right? Like, yeah, the chests are really dense in the first couple floors of Mirage, but if he wipes 3 times trying to get to them, all of a sudden that doesn't really matter that much.
An excellent point. So you always have to make the decision, okay, how much am I willing to put time in to this? And we see another ribbon and a power gauntlet from Minochi here in the Ice Cave. He's swapped in, which is nice to show us some different territory. And you gotta figure one of these is likely to pay off.
Thor Hammer? He's not feeling it, just resets right out in frustration.
Opal Shield, that's just money. Opal Bracelet, Opal Gauntlet, that is, likewise.
Just like last night, finding all the other Opal gear before the bracelet. Just a tease.
Now against the Eye, it looks like Minochi has damned the one party member the entire way. I think that's his black belt. I think he went Thief, Black Mage, White Mage. And what did the Eye guard? A whole bunch of gold. That's not going to really help. Kind of curious that Minochi is even walking that out. Maybe he got some levels in here that he wants to keep.
Or possibly any of the other items. I think there was some pretty decent stuff.
Oh, he did find a ribbon.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty powerful party with life too and lots of AoE, so it's an interesting approach. Just blast away, right? And no tank to speak of.
So we hadn't seen too deep into this volcano yet. Crystal's giving us that look. Don't know where Minochi is going to go next, but now we're in the territory where what we haven't seen is Sea Shrine and Sky Castle.
Let's not forget the waterfall, right? I don't think anyone's poked around in there yet either.
That is true, but that would usually be one you make in connection with going to the Sea Shrine. I would always route that in before I go into Sea Shrine. Plus, if you don't have either exit or warp, hey, wizards have squint.
Yeah, looks like the ribbon's getting the job done there, though. So and he's out of the ice cave, yep.
Thanks to seeing the variety of the runners and the variety of the strategies, we're able to start narrowing things down pretty quickly. The other thing we hadn't really talked about yet is if the crown is going to be required, because we still have the crown locked chests we have not seen yet.
We were talking about going to the waterfall. Platypus brings up a point. Does anyone have enough cash for that bottle? It was pricey, but I think most of the people now have picked up some chests with tons of cash, so I think they do, yes.
Yeah, almost everybody has walked out of at least one of the dungeons that we've seen after picking up significant money, so I don't think that's too much of a concern right now.
How's your memory?
Artea is working on the Earth Cave, and this is another one of the interesting things. We haven't seen the depths of the Earth Cave yet.
He goes to where the bracelet was last night. It's not there, so it's gonna be a little further along. But a pro ring is nice. Best piece of hand armor in the game. 8 absorb, resist death. What's not to like?
The Agamas were not holding on to anything in particularly special, that is. A heal behind the vampire is not really what we're looking for. So, I keep harping on this theme, and I don't want to beat it to death, but whatever strategy you're going to play, you want to give yourself a chance to win. So I really love the diversity of routes we've seen from so many of the runners. They have done things that make sense. Artea gets the ruby, not that he'll ever use it. He already has the rod anyways. Looks like he found the mage staff though, which is a valuable spellcasting item. And Minochi going back to the volcano? Or this might be his first trip. Or he might be lost. Or I might be lost. Let's not rule that out.
Volcano, you're right.
Sforzando has the mystic key. Apparently.
And he's doing exactly what you said, trading in the adamant for an Excalibur he can't use, but could sell and get it out of his inventory, right?
If you even need to. I mean, the biggest reason to me to do that play is to line your heals up in the first column, just because that's faster. He finds the Masamune for his trouble.
That's what he's got. And the Sun Sword, a nice little armory down there. We don't know his party composition yet, though. Wow, it's just a sword repository in the dwarf treasure trove. He walked in there with an adamant and walked out with Masamune, Excalibur, the Sun Sword, and the Bane Sword?
Clearly, there's only one thing to do, and we all know what it is. Sword chucks, yo!
He's got enough for 2 of them.
Dual-wielding sword chucks, yo!
Shout out to 8-Bit Theater. What a throwback.
Looks like Sforzando has started putting the bracelets on the black belt. That is interesting because it could save you some time to not have to menu.
If the fact the black belt already has the other 3 bracelets on it is the difference maker, Trenton, I owe you a Coke.
Alright. This is always interesting when we're looking at new territory.
Pilot chests? The Mystic Key unlocks so many chests. We really get to go on just like a vacation, tour around, and look up the goods.
And here's the question, how much of a gamble are you willing to take? Would you go to the bottom of the marsh cave?
That's always the last place, man. The last place.
You know, it kind of goes into that whole argument of chest density versus time density, because it's only 3 chests, but once you've got some levels, you're going to get to it pretty fast.
Yeah, what did the Arachnids have down there? It might not be as scary now with your few more levels than it was the first time.
Blizzard, which is still pretty scary until probably the 20s. If you're low teens, that's still going to be something that worries you. But then again, if you've got runs in life too, maybe not so much. See, like I said, we have just one of the best chats tonight I've ever seen. They're making such great points.
Your GP or your
Into
HP?
Lower Marsh, and you've got the Mystic Key. then that play makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's about 7 or 8 chests now that are not that far away and not that heavily guarded. If you want to get 7 or 8 chests somewhere else, you're gonna have to face stiffer opposition than that.
Chat, you're on fire tonight. Keep it up. Great job.
Yeah, any more wise, pointed, incisive commentary like that, and I'm just gonna hang it up.
So we didn't see where Sforzando got the crown from. Obviously, he hasn't been into Mirage yet, so it either had to be in C or in the waterfall. So those are the only places we didn't see with anyone else.
Speaking of, Quicklit is in the Sea Shrine now, so if he hasn't found it yet, maybe we'll catch it on his feed.
And maybe next time Sforzando menus will be able to get a look at his orb. Well, no, that wouldn't tell us. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think the fiends are in any danger tonight.
Okay, question, had we seen the bottom of the marsh cave? It wasn't just Zalnop who went down there. Will Bloodworth also went down there, so we're pretty sure at this point that there wasn't anything in the southern half.
I don't even know that he wiped. I think he actually had his way with the wizards and picked up $340, and maybe he wiped after that, or just reset out.
Yeah, I could have run into the Arachnids after that, so while I'm not 100% sure, I think between the two runners, we've got pretty good clarity that it's not there. Chat says Sforzando has the cube, so Waterfall looks pretty likely for the crown. I buy that for $1.
Well, he's in Mermaids now, and this could very easily have the brace. Oh, pardon me. No. Quicklit is. This must be where the crown is.
Hey folks, give it up for Edgeworth tonight for swapping all these runners out on the fly like this. It is not the easiest thing to do.
He manages to swap out entire feeds faster than I could even notice him doing it. The guy is a shark.
Also, let's say thank you to Randomania too while we're in the thank you moods.
Yeah, Yeah, it's nice. It's a great channel. Over the course of just the last little while, they've streamed 50% of the FFR races for us, and it's just brought a whole new audience to the game, and I think that's pretty great. So, big thanks. There's the Opal bracelet. It's over.
Is it in Mermaids?
It was in Mermaids, yes. And we have a winner.
Congratulations, Quicklit. Well done. SRL time is 51 minutes 59 seconds. The sub hours. Congrats.
Wow, look at that. Well, we'll try and get Quicklit in for a post-victory chit-chat. That's something. So that means Sforzando went and got the cube, but then didn't go into the Sea Shrine. Because if he did, he almost certainly would have gone to Mermaids.
Yeah, must not have had the bottle. And what's interesting is in a lot of seeds, the time somebody finishes in can tell you a lot about where something had to be. In these flags, you know nothing, except it wasn't where you've already been.
And a near vanilla Opal bracelet. How apropos. GG Quicklit, congratulations on the sub-hour victory. And that should bode well for grinding up other people's scores too. It's a nice thing to win, and it's even a nicer thing to win in a way that is gonna, take other people time. I don't see anybody else in Sea Shrine right now, so that should result in some higher scores.
Yeah, not sure where everybody is right now, but Tristel is right there, but he don't see Oxiel in his inventory, so apparently he's just going for the cube now.
How good's your memory, Trent? Do you remember where the bottle's for sale?
It was pretty early. It was either Corneria or Elfland, I think.
Good work. It's in Elfland.
If I don't remember exactly, I do try and remember it to a location so that I can find that bottle faster. So, Quicklit, Walk us through your run there, man, and GG.
Hey, thanks. Well, I didn't have any issues in Marsh. I mean, I think when I was still on the first floor, I got hit with a blizzard from spiders or arachnids or whatever. So I didn't try the bottom of Marsh at all. After that, I went Volcano first, found the floater right away. I checked all the rest of Volcano, and there wasn't, I mean, there was, what, Adamant, and, like, the Volcano treasure cache had tons of stuff in it, but none of it was Opal.
Yeah, the slab was there as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when did you make the play to go buy the bottle? Because it was pretty pricey in Elfland at the start.
Yeah, I went, well, I got a lot of money from the first floor of Volcano, and then I went, let's see if I can remember, I went to Mirage Tower. I turned a slab in and did the first 2 floors of Mirage Tower. I'm trying to remember where I got all the money. Like, I had to buy the gold bracelet. That was 56,000. I think that's where most of the money from Volcano came from. I went to Ice Cave after Mirage Tower. There was a lot of money in Ice Cave, and I walked it out. I didn't check the eye at all. I figured if it was in the eye chest, then I was screwed. I needed the levels, and I needed the money.
Did you ever pop into the Titan? Because he was sitting on a,
yeah.
He was sitting on a big pile of cash.
Yeah, he had a lot of money. I never went to Cardia Islands, but I did check Titan's Tunnel. But
Did you get into the waterfall?
Nope, never went to Waterfall. I decided that it was a lot more likely to be in Sea Shrine. Because if I'm going to go to Waterfall, then I'm going to go to Mirage Tower right afterwards, probably. Or back to Mirage. And it was in Mermaids, so...
And there's the crown in Waterfall.
It seems to end up in Mermaids a lot. Oh, the crown was in Waterfall?
Yeah, we just discovered that, and it sent Sforzando on a bit of a wild goose chase, because it's very tempting, of course, because the key opens up a lot of chests.
Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't go to Waterfall then.
We saw a lot of route divergence. Did you follow the kind of route you were expecting to going into this, or were you improvising as you went along?
I was pretty much improvising after I got... I was always going to go Volcano first, because it's the easiest dungeon that has a lot of chests in it. And obviously, like, Ice Cave isn't incentivized, Ordeals isn't incentivized, so you have to find the floater if you want to go to the other 2 dungeons that have a lot of chests. And once I found the slab, that kind of led me right to try the first 2 of Mirage Tower, because I think the 4th encounter was really, really long, so I think I was able to check the entire 2nd floor of Mirage without a single encounter.
Looks like Files was in the right place with the wrong equipment. He went to talk to a submarine lady, but he didn't have the oxy.
Ooh. Yeah, the bottle and the gold bracelet were both pretty much as expensive as they could be.
Yeah, it's been curious. I think that scared away people from bothering, right? Because they're like, bottle, gold bracelet, and invariably they get the gold bracelet first. And then when they forget or they don't get around to getting the bottle, and so you broke away from the pack big time when you made that play, and that's why you won, and you're going to put up a pretty good score for everybody that's following you.
Yeah, I think we're already at the 10% mark, so very well done. We saw the arachnids with Blizzard. Was there anything else that was particularly nasty we may have missed?
Zombles had tons of HP, and I think Stun Touch. I tried to fight some on my way to Lefine. I think they were the 3rd encounter, and I got a pack of them. And like 2 Fire 3s didn't kill them, and they were just hitting me for like 170. I tried to go to Ordeals. I saved right at the airship, trekked all the way to Ordeals, and then I didn't save outside of Ordeals, and my very first encounter in Ordeals was a single Zomble, and I couldn't kill it. So I just decided screw that and got back on my airship.
I was just reminded of the earliest route divergence we saw with our featured runners. Did you go early bridge first or Temple of Fiends first?
I did early bridge, but I didn't make it to Provoca. Something showed up and killed me. I don't remember what it was. But after that, I decided I would just try Temple of Fiends and found the Zeus Gauntlet right away, so that was fantastic. Because the pirates had Glance, I think it was, or Gaze, something.
Yeah, they were stunning people, I believe. It was a pretty ugly fight, but it wasn't as too bad as anything we saw last night. Manochi now in the Mermaids is moments away from hopefully completing his set.
Yeah, he went to the right place and
Now it's just being thorough. This place is like so repetitive that it's easy to get mixed up.
He's just
that
done,
interesting.
done.
I'll explain this in just a second because we haven't seen it yet and I don't want to spoil. Okay, Minochi found it, but for it to count, you have to put them all on the black belt. So Minochi had to undone because he had one of the bracelets in the wrong spot. And then he had to put it there and then done.
Yeah, last night, I mean, I got last place, but I lost at least 2 spots because at some point, apparently, I sold my silver bracelet. So I found the opal in Earth, and then I had to walk it out and go buy another silver bracelet.
Yeah, a reversal of fortune tonight from that. I remember we were following you because I think you were the last one on the stream. And it was kind of funny to see that you might have been third last, if not for that little mistake. But it doesn't matter anymore because you just put up a donut this round, which is a great place to be in.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
We knew coming into tonight we were going to have first time winner of this stage without Show defending, but how much do you think you'll be defending the rest of the stage?
It depends. I'm not going to do anything like last night and stay up till 2 in the morning, but if it's a nice, easy afternoon race, then I'll probably join in. I'm not all that concerned about defending because I think the fact that I won today had a lot to do with luck. I don't put myself in the top tier of the racers or anything like that, but I just enjoy racing.
You may not, but your actions put you in the top tier tonight. I was going to say, from last night's race, did you try a different party composition today or any other big changes out of the get-go, or basically the same strategy?
I considered going with a black mage and a white mage instead of a thief and a red mage. And had I done that, I would have had exit, which I don't think, by the time I was able to get exit, I don't think it really would have made any difference because I think it was in Gaia. But I ended up going with the exact same party, and it worked out pretty well. There was a lot of early AoE spells you could actually get this seed.
Yeah, so I guess the real question is if you race another one, stick with it or change it up?
I'd probably change it up just because I know I don't need a win anymore.
Well, we didn't see the end of Artea's run, but he has decided to call it at this point. Knowing he'll probably put up a better score later if he hasn't already for this round. I'm not sure what he's sitting at.
Yeah, I think Artea counts his scores in terms of zeros and not zeros. So if he doesn't win, he might as well just try again next time. I think if we get closer to the end of the stage and he hasn't won a round, then maybe he'll take more seriously finishing. But I expect that he's just already thinking about the next race.
Yeah, actually, it looks like he is still sitting at a 1 at this point. So that changes up the standings for the moment.
I don't know if anyone did bottom of Marsh, but the Wizards also were stunning people and hit really, really hard.
We saw a couple people get down there. We didn't see anybody go down there with a key.
No, a couple people took down the Wizards with a combination of Zeus Gauntlets and Magic, though. They were pretty soft, even though they were like offensively powerful, they weren't too hard to dispatch.
Yeah. Yeah, when I went to Ice Cave, I kept running in. I had to reset out like 4 times. I kept running into a 7-pack of wizards. Man, this crown chase is really killing people.
Yeah, it's so tempting. Like, I mean, you understand why it happens, but it's like we know that it's not going to work, so it's just painful to watch. I feel particularly bad for the people that walk into the dwarf cave with the adamant, which was also in the volcano, because they walk in there with adamant and they walk out with the Excalibur, and in the treasure room they've got the Masamune, the Sun Sword, and the Bane Sword. So it's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky on my way to mermaids. Also, I had 2 unrunnable encounters. The Wiz Sahags had tons of HP. They had like 600 HP, but I didn't run into any ghosts.
Tristal is now back in the Mirage Tower. He went here earlier and checked the first 2 floors before he even had the cube. Now I assume he's going to the upper floors. Which unfortunately at this point is just going to be a lot of time for nothing.
Yeah, we don't know what's in the Sky Castle, but we can say with certainty that the Opal Bracelet isn't there, so it's going to be a long, painful slog if he chooses to go all the way up. I think your dot done was just at the time where people have difficulty inferring what it means. Does it mean that he, raced all the way to the Sky Castle and got lucky, or did he go to someplace easy and get lucky? Is there something we overlooked?
I mean, if I'd gone to Waterfall right after Floater, I could have done Sky Castle for sure.
And there's so much route divergence that I don't think anything is obvious. I don't think you can see that and think, oh, the only place that could be would have been here. It just wasn't that intuitive. And I guess I can toss that out to Minochi, who joins us now. Good game on the 2nd place finish. When you saw that dot done, what were you thinking? Minochi might be busy eating lunch still. That's always a possibility.
Yeah, can you hear me?
There he is.
Good game, guys. He finished like around 51 minutes, so I'm guessing it's in the middle somewhere, but not volcanoes or ice or ordeal. It would be too fast. So it's rather in sea or in Mirage Tower. Probably upper Sky Tower, not Mirage Tower. If Mirage Tower, somebody would finish by like 40 minutes or so.
That's a pretty shrewd observation, and proved to be true too. And we still have a lot of people in the Mirage Tower who are looking for it.
Yeah, we saw Tristal make the early Mirage play, which I do think made a lot of sense. He got into those first 2 floors, but he was losing some time to the Fire 3. If you didn't see it, the Cerebruses had Fire 3, and they were a pain.
I had 2 ribbons, so I'm not too scared of getting nuke. Well, not nuke, but lit 3 or fire 3.
So where did you get those 2 from? We saw one in the Ice Cave.
There was one in Ordeal.
You survived the zombies?
If you do the manipulations, there is no zombies.
Yeah, that would have been good. I mean, it probably actually saved me a lot of time by not finishing ordeals, but they're pretty nasty.
Well, I grabbed the ribbons and then kill a few zombie D for some levels and then ran. I needed some money.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going around.
Yeah, when
So,
did this is a question we asked Quicklet as well. When did you decide to buy the bottle?
After the gold,
So did you buy the gold bracelet first, or
yeah, I bought the gold bracelet first, and then scavenger hunt for some money, and then buy the bottle.
okay, so kind of as soon as you could, basically, when you got out of ordeals?
No, I went to Ice first after Ordeal, and then I got like 120k. I was short a few K, so I picked up a few chests in Volcano, got the floater. If it wasn't the floater, somebody would have got done like in 20-30 minutes. So I just grabbed the floater then, pick up the slab and some money.
do you think this might be the sneaky round where people get tagged with more points than other rounds?
Depends on how the RNG rolls really, or what party they pick.
So how did you feel about your party? Was it the same one that you did you participate last night too? And was it the same one?
Nope, I dropped one thief. I got only one thief this time.
I see a lot of 2 thief parties.
Yeah, usually go with 2 thieves, a red mage and black belt, but I went with black mage, white mage, and then a thief.
Ooh, Blaze. Some pretty bad men.
So that party composition would have given you access to exit. I'm trying to think if we saw anything else that was locked.
There was Wharf level 6. I did some grind in Crescent Lake for Pete's. It was in the 3rd encounter, so I picked up a few level there. So that made my trips to Ordeal like really fast.
Yeah, I think I was level 8 or 9 when I got to Ordeals. I only killed 2 packs of Pete's.
Yeah, they were pretty weak, and I needed some money for a house as well, just in case I needed to drop a house outside.
These
Yeah, it was-
Cerebus encounters have not been kind to Tristal tonight. But he gets away from that one.
And he got pretty lucky. Actually, they had, fire too, but only one of them cast it.
He has taken more wipes to those Cerebuses than I think we have seen from all other runners combined right now.
Glad I didn't do that much volcano. Only took the floater and then goes to the 2nd floor, grabbed the bunch of chests, and then ran.
I cleared the whole thing. I don't think I ever saw any though.
Oh well, I went there last because my thought was I know the floater was in there, so I gotta go grab it and then run. Because somebody would have finished by the time I go into volcano, so the opal bracelet is not gonna be there. So I just needed the floaters and some money.
Yeah, I cleared. Well, I didn't clear the one chest that's guarded by fires, but I got everything else because I had nothing but I think I had lit 3 or something, and I didn't really trust that to be good enough to kill the fires.
Wait, there was
Looks like
there
we
was
have
fire
se-
3, and then lit 2, and fire 2, and that's all I got.
Lit 3 was I think it was a rank 3.
We have
don't know
Zaunat
where I bought
in the Sea Shrine now, who has bypassed a couple of chests on his way to get here, but he's in the right spot.
Surely he won't bypass the bottom corner chest.
Oh, I always come to mermaids first, and then I'll go back and get the other ones if it's not here. There's just so many chests in mermaids.
And
Yeah,
looks
I-
like Zarnax is about to be done in Sky Castle.
So did you pick up the crown too as well, or no?
I didn't. I never went to Waterfall.
So I went and picked up the crown. I was thinking, is it the crown or is it the sea? But then sea was closer by distance, so I just choose sea instead.
Yeah, when I started watching everyone else, they were all pretty much doing the crown search. Made me really happy. I went to Waterfall.
It's almost an automatic thing, when you think, I'm heading to Onrak, am I going to stop at the waterfall on the way there, or am I going to stop at the waterfall after? And if you just sort of make the snap decision to do the other one, it could have set you on a wrong track that would waste like 10 minutes.
Sound app has to get ordered.
Yeah, in any
Wait,
chaos
what?
person- What's he doing?
What? Did
He's missing-
he
he's-
just exit?
You're missing one of the bracelets.
Did he not have a copper?
He doesn't have gold yet?
I don't know if he has the gold one. I was sort of like blinded by his quick menu operations and missed which one he didn't have.
Ah,
Oh wow.
he had enough for the bottle, maybe, but not for
Yeah,
gold.
because if you buy the gold, you don't have enough for a bottle unless you go to ice. Because that's like 100k in ice.
Yeah.
There was a lot of money available if you were in places, but if you were maybe resetting out of them instead of walking some of that gold out, I could see where you'd be short.
He's maybe got a good memory. It is in Melmond.
And
went
off
past it.
stream, it looks like Will Bloodworth has finished with a time of 1:15.
Oh, he needs to turn in Excalibur for the money.
Watch, the Excalibur only costs 2k. Like every other game I play, the Excalibur never go up above 10k.
He needs $35,000. We're gonna see what he's got here.
Well, if you haven't been to Titans yet, you better go there. Is that Will joining us?
Yeah.
I mean, he can just sell everything he owns, so.
He's hawking
That's true. You
everything.
don't need it for anything else.
Then he's gonna head to Vegas and put it all on red. Does he have enough? Can he get 16,000 bucks out of his weapons? What's that? Yeah, couple
That's how
grand
much
there.
Excalibur goes for.
What's Excalibur? It's not gonna do it. He needs another 6 grand. He's gonna go back and check. He doesn't have enough.
Oh,
Wow.
Saved by Excalibur.
oh no!
What's happening right now?
He needs like 5k.
No, he already
Ouch.
sold it. Yeah, he's gonna have to sell the shirt off his back here. Rune sword.
We're watching Zalnap attempt to finish. He is short the money for the gold bracelet. He found the opal, but he couldn't. Done because he didn't have the gold.
Oh
Final
god.
Fantasy Randomizer and Farmer's Market Simulator as he desperately tries to pawn off his gear for another
Oh.
3 grand.
It's the Taloon Dragon Warrior 4 simulator.
And I think we even, through one of the runners, saw a gold bracelet available at some point.
Oh.
Well, what's the fastest fight you can get to for money?
He's got to go to
Go
Titan.
to Titans. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
do that.
Titans,
Yeah.
there was like 20k
Is that-
there.
Yeah, he would have been
Yeah,
down.
he's good now. Yep.
Unless he gets murdered by the random encounters in here, because there were some deadly fights actually.
I don't know about passing on the ogres though.
You got a preemptive strike too, because they
And here we go.
This is the most ridiculous denouement to a race I have ever seen.
Files
way more
with a
interesting than
sniper
it
One,
is.
for
one of the
fourth
best,
place.
but one of the best uses of a fantastic vocabulary word I've heard all day.
Yeah, and he found
It's Forzano with
$100,000.
another snipe and fifth. This is
Oh. Wait a minute.
well.
Files.
Did he maybe have a wrong bracelet?
There he goes. He's got his gold. He's-
Files forfeited. What happened?
And Zelnup is done.
Wow.
Hello, Sforzando.
Oh no.
Well, that went a lot better than the last one.
Oh god.
So you probably don't realize this, but you kind of sniped Zalnop there more than you might think, because he actually found the opal bracelet first, but he didn't have a gold bracelet in his inventory.
Oh no.
So what does he do? He flies to Melmond and sells everything he has, comes up $4,000 short, and then he has to go raid the Titan.
So we get some clarity on the file situation. He had the opal armor instead of the opal bracelet.
Oh.
Ah.
I see.
Yeah, that's
Gotta be careful about those things, but it looks like Tristal's in the right place. He should soon be done.
I was really contemplating going there before the Mirage Tower, before translating the slab and going to Mirage. It just seemed like the kind of play that would have justified the first finish time.
And congratulations on finishing, Will. You kind of snuck in while we were distracted by the Zonlap shopping simulator, so good job.
Thanks, appreciate it. It's finally something went kind of my way.
I mean, let's be honest, the amount of skill necessary to complete this seed is not commensurate with the goal.
No, it's not. It's really not. No, this was a matter for me at least of guessing, should I go to Mirage Tower first or should I go to Sea Shrine? And I picked the wrong one.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at, because I gambled a little bit, so I'll freely admit, there was a little bit of gambling involved. I ended up going Waterfall Cave and finding the crown, so...
Oh no. Wild Goose Chase time?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But if it paid off...
Of course.
I think Minochi and I both went Mirage Tower first also.
Oh. Hold on. I think the
Crystal
biggest...
went in there for the first 2 floors before he even had Cube.
Yeah,
Nope, I didn't do Mirage Tower because I figured somebody would have done in 40 minutes
Oh,
with Mirage Tower, so there's no way it's in there. It's probably upper floor if someone went cube.
This is someone who got done in about 30 minutes when it was in Sea Shrine, so I don't know.
Well, when I saw the
No,
first
no,
dot
when-
done it...
Because where the items are, you can give a good guess at where most of when the town player finish, you could give a good guess at where they are.
That's why I went Mirage instead of Sea Shrine, because...
No, there's like 15 people in the race. So if somebody went Volcano first, grab the slab, do the first 2 floors, it's around 35 minutes to finish.
Oh, well, yeah, no doubt about it.
So he finished in 50, so that must be somewhere like grabbing money, doing another chain quest,
Right.
something like that. So add in another 10 minutes. for
Was
Mirage.
Was the bottle really cheap in that race? You
No.
rushed Sea Shrine in?
No.
Oh, Minochi, I'm talking to.
Oh, it was cheap. You can sell the katana and then grab the bottle on that race that I finished in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's like that was a kind of gamble that made me feel pretty salty when I saw the finish time. I was like, oh, how? When I realized where it was, it's like, how did that man do this in 30 minutes? And I realized you just had a game plan and you stuck to it. And I've done the same thing.
And there it is, Tristal's done.
Tristal gets the bracelet, he gets his party arranged, and he's our 6th place finisher at 1 hour 21 minutes.
When I saw the first dot done at 50 minutes, I thought, okay, I was just about to enter Sky, because I had my cube, I had finished my crown chest check, and I was about to enter Sky, and I saw the dot done, and I thought, there's no way it's in
Nope.
Sky.
There's no way. No way. Not with that time. That place takes so long to clear out, it's ridiculous. Unless it was on the very
it
first
actually
floor.
could be Sky if he went like YOLO, like grab the cube, translate the slab, and then just go.
I mean,
Yeah,
if it was up there, if it was up there, I would have dot done it about probably under an hour.
Yeah, had you gone straight there with the cube, yeah. And had it been on floor 1 or floor 3. If it was on floor 2, like you've got 6 little tiny areas to go to clear out for about 8, 9, 10 chests total. Whereas bottom floor and top floor, that's like a total of maybe 20, 25. And they're a lot more condensed.
Zalnap in here now. You gave us the most drama-filled finish.
Yeah. That was a very interesting finish.
We had like 5-6 guys in the commentary booth trying to figure out if you had enough stuff to sell.
I was hoping I had enough stuff to sell, but I was like 6,000 gold short, so I had to think quick on where's the fastest place to get gold. So luckily Titan's all had gold.
Yeah, there was like a cool 100 grand in there.
Yeah.
Oh, ordeal! I never went to ordeal.
And Tristal has also found his way in here.
Howdy, everyone.
Yeah, Tristan.
Good evening, GG.
Really good at the beginning, and then I just chose the wrong dungeon.
That's pretty much it.
Where did you go first?
Floater right away and was off and running throughout the world, but went to air first before sea.
Yeah, that's same thing with me.
I'm up on air. I couldn't even get past the first floor of sky. Just so many things that were insta kills. I think I wiped 7 times.
Oh, did you run the crown quest that Sforzando did
Wasn't finished.
and find
There's
Cube?
like me, Fuchsia, and Zarnax.
Yeah, I just went to Mirage and cleared floor 1 and 2, and then I was like, well, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and go see.
Yeah, I did that. Then I left and went back to Volcano to clear the rest out. That didn't work either. Then I went to Ordeals as well. That also didn't work. So did find the ribbon there though. That was actually pretty useful.
I was tempted to do that, the Volcano clear, but when I saw that dot down at 50, it was like, nah.
Yeah, when I saw the dot down at 50, I thought it was either in Earth or in like Volcano B4 because I did clear all of B2, but I was like, okay, anybody who clears B2 is going to bail out, grab their floater, and travel the world. So when I saw 50, it's like, okay, I suppose it's possible somebody doubled back and cleared it. So that was the first thing I did after I got back from Mirage Tower. I was like, okay, Volcano. Then I went Earth, and that didn't work. So I'm like, okay, well, it's got to be in C.
Did any of you do ice?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I did that too.
I think everyone that did ice had a leg up just because there was so much money in there.
There was a ton. Yeah, I was worried about having enough to buy the gold, and then I was like, what, 120 grand? Like, I think I'll be all right.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't have enough gold is because I did ice, but I had saved way far out, and I reset out of ice, and I didn't keep anything from ice.
Yeah, I didn't drop down to check the eye chest just because there was so much gold, and I'd gotten a couple new levels, so I just walked it out.
Yeah, spoiler alert, there wasn't crap in it. you made the right choice. Yeah,
figured as much.
Yeah. That's one of those things you got to be willing to say, well, GG if it's in there.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with the fires in Volcano. I full cleared Volcano except for that one fire chest that you can't get around.
Yeah, I actually killed 2 fires with just a Zeus Gauntlet and Fire 3, oddly enough. They were really, really low HP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when all you got is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail, right?
Pretty much. I always think about fight fire with fire when I do that, and it's just, you see like 30, 40 HP. Like, yeah, that's about right.
Fight fire with fire. That was my motto. That's how I got kicked out of the fire department.
Ali has found the opal bracelet and become our 7th place finisher with a time of 1:26. So how many of you saw Blizzard and how many of you got worried at that point about another marsh cave?
Yes and yes. Yeah, I wiped like 3 times in Marsh before I finally got TNT out safely.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Double Thief really saved my butt.
Ditto.
I had Blizzard.
Spider? Is it spider or is it arachnid?
It's arachnid.
It's arachnid.
Arachnids.
Yeah, they loved me, and they love going first. Oh, buddy.
Will, we saw you in the south side. Were you able to full clear that, or did you end up having to out?
Yeah, I actually full cleared it and got out and saved. I ran into, I think, 1 arachnid or 2 during that time, but I was either able to kill them or run away from them each time. I figured no one's going to go down there because of the arachnid, so I'll give it a shot. And I even killed the wizards. And I walked out with some money there, but it wasn't, quite enough to get a gold bracelet. Or anywhere near, really. But I got, I think, Dragon Armor, Vorpal, if I'm not mistaken.
Our most recent finisher, Ali, joins us now. 7th place finish. GG.
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 Like, honestly, I don't know a lot about this race, but I do think knowing once I see some dot, it probably tells me where not to go.
Right.
It was not probably because I only did early Volcano, the first floor. After that, I saw floater, saw slab.
Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I left.
I didn't know where to go if it was Ice Cave. I knew it wasn't I didn't think Ordeals. I thought Ice Cave, so I did After singing first floor, I did a bit of Earth Cave before, and after that, I did. What did I do? I did Ice Cave. I did I did the Mirage Tower also. Pretty much knew that it was either there or like in Sea Shrine. In Sea Shrine, I didn't check Waterfall too because, like I said, well, I just think like it's pretty much about finding that opal bracelet, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think you and I ran pretty much the same route. Sounds like, unless you, I'm assuming you didn't dive like the other side of Marsh, but everything else you did pretty much where I went to.
Full Marsh.
You did full clear Marsh?
Like I think everything in Marsh was like poisonous. It was. It's not poison me in this run, but like it was a lot.
Yeah, it was not a good time. That's why I did it. I figured everybody else is gonna nope out of there because of that arachnid. You know, that's why I'm like, if Opal's down here, I'm gonna be okay.
I actually didn't see the arachnids with Blizzard till I cleared the Earth Cave.
That's
So I
crazy.
didn't even see that.
I did Earth 1 and 2, but I didn't. Dude, Earth's had really low HP, but they hit like trucks.
See, Zarnex has just found the opal, and he'll get his party arranged, and he'll be our 8th place finisher with a time of 1 hour 30 minutes.
GG, Zarnax.
So as I'm seeing this race play out, I'm wondering if this isn't going to be the sneaky round where we see some points put up on people.
Yeah, if there's a round, it's going to happen, and it's this one or round 4, because round 4 has, I think, the highest troll potential of any seed, of any flag set we've got. Just based on party comp alone.
Yeah, we're gonna see some 3 and 4 hour finishes in round 4.
Which means we're going to see a high forfeit rate.
What do we have now? We have Zarnex now. GG, Zarnex.
Thank you.
First thoughts after wrapping that one up.
51 minutes to get through water is pretty good. I think. I'd be curious to see how he routed that.
It came down, for Quicklet. I think the decision of going to Sea Shrine instead of Waterfall was the miracle lucky choice.
I had no intention of ever going to Waterfall either, unless I, cleared Sea Shrine that wasn't there.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
there's
the gamble.
like 3 times as many chests in Sea Shrine as there is in Waterfall.
Yeah,
We had a
closer
long-
like 6 times, but yeah, you're right. It's about that.
We had a really long encounter 4, and so
Yeah.
it really let me get deep into the waterfall cave to check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a really
I-
nice run.
I had no problem with Waterfall. I went after Waterfall. I went to Mirage and Sky.
Yeah, that slab is something I wish I'd never seen. I should have taken that floater and just noped out immediately. And said,
Right.
okay, where do we want to go? Do we want to go to Sea Shrine? Do we want to go to Ordeals? But where do we want to go? Is that
It
already
was-
done nice?
The time for the first several finishes made for a really interesting, meta game. Because I was like, it's too long. Somebody would have finished faster if they were in Ice or Ordeal.
Yeah, I figured if it was in a place like Waterfall, it would have been a quicker finish.
Even that, probably, yeah. So
So Fish just gave us a quick look at the waters, which apparently we were lucky not to see more of, and it forced a reset.
Oof.
How
I
bad
got a
were they?
water encounter? That sucks.
I got into a fight with Waters and they attacked me twice and never hit me. So what do they have?
I think just high attack relative to the party. I think Fuchsia's got a pretty low party here, if I'm not mistaken.
Most people probably did.
Yeah,
Throughout a
Yeah.
lot of the run was I finished at level 10.
Same here.
yep. I was about 11, I think.
I think I was up at like 13 or 14.
Like 12, 10 to 12.
It was too tempting to grind to 14.
It was. It really was. Like the
Well, I saw warp on level 6, so I gotta grind up to 12, I think,
Mhm.
or 14.
Yeah, I just had a red mage, so I was just like, nope, not getting that. That's too bad. And
that
then
was my problem.
the real kick in the nuts is finding exit.
level 1.
Red mage couldn't use it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it had
he
to be in that
couldn't.
spot.
I didn't see that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had a white mage, so I had the exit. I got the exit, so.
Forgot to check Gaia before going to I think it cost me a bit because like I would have capped a lot of stuff going there the first time.
Hmm.
Like I died on the second floor and I saw there was like nothing really that I could keep, so I pretty much continued without going back.
My mentality with going into Sea Shrine was I'm going in there with 3 of the 4 bracelets because if I find Opal, I don't want to walk that back out again. So it's important to go in there with gold rather than
Yeah, it's when I checked like a volcano and like the big group of chests with the adamant and slab, a
Mhm.
bunch of the big gold chests, and I was like, as soon as I found a floater, I went and bought my gold and copper. So I was for that same reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost don't need exit if you have the first 3 bracelets.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't. I would dive deep into whatever I was looking at, and then just reset if Opal wasn't there.
Yeah, my
Why
original,
casting exit?
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, that reset button's the best exit spell you've got in this seed.
The only the waterfall might be the only time it's really useful, or in this case, I mean, you needed money, so if you
Right.
find
Right.
a lot.
Yep, I definitely could have used it. I had to run 2 thieves out of waterfall because I thought, well, if it's in the crown chest, that would have been awesome. So I didn't want to lose that.
Exactly.
Am I the only one that ran a fighter?
Well done.
Very possible. Looks like Fuchsia has just finished up with a time of 1:36. And let's look ahead a little bit. Next race is a little bit earlier in the evening. It'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow. How many of you looking forward to that one?
I'm looking forward to like an Opal bracelet in TOF, and that's it.
Be careful what you wish for there.
5 minutes race, guys. 5 minutes race. Let's go. Make this happen.
Everybody gets a point. Everybody gets a decent score there. Whoever actually gets a
Well, not
terrible
really,
score.
because like
Yeah.
often like you don't check that early, you won't find it.
It's end up wasting the 5 minutes this round though, because I didn't go to get the Zeus Gauntlet. I was trying to melee the pirates down. Cost me like 5 minutes plus.
Like if it's a 5-minute seed, like it's possible that you can get done like in 20 minutes because you didn't check early.
All right. Well, I think with all of our runners finished, we're going to start to wrap this up. Any final thoughts you'd like to share? Let's start at the bottom of the list with Zarnix and work our way up.
Well, it looks like everybody at least gained some ground. Nobody had double the first place time or more.
I kind of like this this flag set. It's varied and interesting, and routing is weird, and it mixes it up a lot. So I'm kind of enjoying it. So looking forward to racing it at least one more time.
Well, hope I guess better next time and get myself my 000s so I don't have to continue to guess.
This is a 0 skill flag set, and I hate it a lot.
That's why I like it.
Wait,
Probably
wait,
why I
have
won.
0 skill.
wait, you need skill to play this game? Damn it, I didn't know that. Sorry, guys.
Oh no, not this flag set. You're fine here.
Ah,
Yeah, you can just hope for the best. That's pretty much what I'm gonna do for every race.
From my perspective, it's pretty interesting to see this flag set is so different, and it is way too luck based. There's no denying it. You're just hunting one item, and you could
it's not the
blindly.
flex.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Pardon me. Sure. And one of the things we are cooking up in the randomizer is sort of a Zelda-inspired Triforce hunt kind of feature, which would be similar to this, but instead of just hunting one thing, you're going to look for a dozen, and there's going to be 36 of them. Or the machinery of just being worked out. We're going to replace the bottom treasure chest treasures that are worth gold with a special item that you're hunting. And I think we're still cooking it, and there's going to be time to figure out what it's going to look like. It's going to borrow a little bit from this. It's going to borrow a little bit from sort of the Artful Thief kind of stage that you'll see later. We're going to draw some inspiration from the Triforce hunt. And I think it's been very exciting for me to call these races and to see it live. And I understand that maybe it's not quite as thrilling when you're just blindly stumbling through the game trying to find the opal bracelet, but there's a happy medium there, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun when we figure it out.
Can I ask you a question? Is there's gonna be like 6 out of 10 items, or is it just gonna be like collect all items?
We don't know the precise numbers yet, right? We're going to try and optimize it to get the right balance of random and fun. And we talk about these things endlessly in our Discord. So I encourage anyone that when I say something like this and all of a sudden you have a million questions, that's the perfect place to get in touch with us and provide your feedback, because that's how we make it better. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Thank you, guys, for the development team.
All right, and again, a big thank you to Edge, who did a fantastic job as our restreamer. He had people going in and out all night so that we could see territory that we hadn't covered. We saw everything about as quickly as we could for our benefit. Of course, y'all had to do it the long way, but we got to enjoy a great show. Thank you all for participating. Nits, it was a lot of fun. We got
Always
to
a
do this
pleasure.
again. Good night, everybody.